point. And arguably, you have to say, this is the great game of the tournament so far on paper. It's the Netherlands against Japan. Really looking forward to this one. Two sides that will consider themselves as a good prospect to get out of a tough group. Sweden and Tunisia making up Group F, and perhaps these two sides facing their toughest two matches, or toughest match each of them tonight against one another. We're in Dallas. It's been a sweltering day, and the temperature down on pitch side is going to be pretty baking as well today. Well, this Japanese side have been in great form, yet to concede in 2026. In fact, they've won each of their last 6 matches, including a 3-2 win against Brazil and 1-0 at Wembley against England. 3 clean sheets in 2026, yet to concede this calendar year. But, well, the Dutch are favourites for this one, coming into the game, having lost 1-0 to Algeria and then bouncing back with a 2-1 win against Uzbekistan. 2 pre-tournament games where they hardly set the world alight. They'll be hoping to do so in this competition, starting on match day 1 today in Group F in Dallas. We're in Arlington, in Texas, and let's have a quick look at the 2 lineups, shall we, ahead of kickoff. By the way, today's referee, before we forget, is from the host nation USA, and it's Ismail El-Fath. Right, team news, team formations. First of all, the Dutch, they line up with Bart van Bruggen in goal. Van Bruggen of Brighton and Hove Albion, of course. The back 4, Mickey van der Ven, we suspect, will play at left back alongside Virgil van Dijk and Jean-Paul van Hekken in the middle of the defence, and Denzel Dumfries of Inter Milan on the right-hand side. Across the 3-man midfield, Frankie de Jong, Tijani Reinders and Ryan Gravenberch of Liverpool, and then that 3 in the attack. Donyell Malen will be the focal point. Either side of him, Cody Gakpo and West Ham's Crescenzo Somerville. Well, what about Japan? Well, they've got 1 or 2 key players out, long-term injuries, but they are still a force to be reckoned with. And they line up with Zion Suzuki in goal. And a back 3 of Tsuyoshi Watanabe, Shogo Taniguchi and Hiroki Ito. Then the 2 wing-backs, a lot of emphasis on them. Keito Nakamura on the left-hand side, who plays in France in the 2nd tier for Reims. And then Ritsu Duan on the right-hand side, who plays in Germany for Eintracht Frankfurt. 2 in the midfield, Kaisho Sano and Daichi Kamada. Daisen Maeda and Takafusa Kubo will support Ayesi Ueda in attack. Well, we're not going to go through the subs, there are plenty of them. We'll introduce you to them as and when necessary. But this is a Japanese side who many experts predict might be the surprise package in this tournament. When the draw was made, there would have been 1 or 2 Dutch experts perhaps cowering at the prospect of a tougher draw when Japan were paired in the same group as the Dutch. And to have them as the first game as well makes it even more intriguing. We are ready to get underway. It's the blue shirts, the white shorts, and the blue socks of Japan. It's the all orange of a major tournament. The stadium glows in orange, and tonight is no exception. Plenty of Dutch supporters here to support their side in the US. So here we are, Group F. Sweden and Tunisia will be playing later, but this is the curtain raiser for Group F, and it could be a very interesting group as well. The Dutch will be kicking in this first half from left to right. Just waiting on the countdown from
at this USA game. So we're about to get underway very, very soon here. It's going to be the Netherlands that will kick us off. They'll be in their famous orange home strips, all in bright orange, and Japan in their home strip as well, in the dark blue shirts with the white trim. And it's going to be the Dutch that will kick us off here. And should be a very interesting game indeed. This is the first Group F game of the tournament, so the match between Sweden and Tunisia will take place at, I think it's 3 a.m. UK time within the next few hours. So if you're a bit of an insomniac or have got work on and you want matches just about to get underway here, we're just waiting for the referee's whistle to go, and we are now underway. So it's the Netherlands that will kick us off. Both teams in their home strips, and the Netherlands will be shooting from left to right as I see it, and the Samurai Blue shooting from right to left. So just a quick reminder of the starting lineups. In fact, we'll just come on to that later. Japan already going very quickly on the break here, or just on this left-hand side. Nice little run there from Maeda of Celtic. Now the Netherlands can go on the counter themselves. Early ball played through, and it's cleared away by Taniguchi. Cleared away all the way back to the Dutch defence on the left-hand side, where it falls to Van der Ven. Now Van Dijk, the Netherlands skipper and Liverpool skipper. A lot of Premier League players in the Dutch starting 11 and in their World Cup squad overall. A whole host of Premier League players. Van Dijk on the ball again here. Now passes back to Bart Verbruggen. Quick pass out to Van Hekke. Now Van Dijk once again. So just a quick reminder of the starting lineups then. So for Japan, Zion Suzuki, Watanabe, Taniguchi, Hiroki Ito, the captain Doan, Kamada, Sano, Nakamura, Kubo, Maeda and Ueda. And for the Netherlands, Verbruggen, Dumfries, Van Hekke, the captain Van Dijk, Van der Ven, Gravenberch, De Jong, Reinders, Somerville, Marlon and Gakpo. Dumfries just on the right hand side then, just over the halfway line for the Dutch. Back to Van Hekke. And a nice ball over to the left wing. Great first touch there from Gakpo. Cuts inside onto his right foot. Now to De Jong. Back to the left-hand side for the Netherlands. De Jong again. Now to Van Hekke. Over to the right wing. Then back to the right of centre. Van Hekke again. Now to Van Dijk. Just comes forward, just slightly over the halfway line. Now to Gakpo on the left-hand side. Again, cuts it on to his right. Nice pass to Marlon. Tries to hold the ball up here. Marlon goes for goal, and it's a good save there from Zion Suzuki. That was a firm effort there from Donyell Marlon, who has been in incredible form for Roma since he joined the Serie A side from Aston Villa midway through this season just gone. A firm effort there, and it was parried away from Zion Suzuki, the Parma goalkeeper. And it's an early corner then for the Netherlands on this left-hand side. Big early warning sign there for Japan. The referee, just before the corner is taken, the referee, I think, just making it clear what he wants to see inside the 6-yard area. Still a lot of tussling at the moment, but the corner is going to be taken by Reinders. Corner comes in now, headed away by the Japanese defence, and it will go out quite a long way in the end for a throw for the Dutch on the left-hand side. 3.5 minutes gone then. We've seen our first chance of the game. Firm effort there from Donyell Marlon. I mean, to be fair, it was pretty much right at Zion Suzuki when you look back at the reverse angle, but it was coming at him with a lot of pace there. And Suzuki still did pretty well to have his reflexes in gear just to be able to tip the ball over and concede just a corner rather than a goal. Netherlands back on the attack again. A bright start here for the team in bright orange. Now from the right wing over into the centre, then looking to play a through ball. Falls to no one though, and it'll be a goal kick for Zion Suzuki to take, and just to try and get Japan back into this game here. Just a bit of a footing into this game, as we've just said. Bright start here for the Netherlands. Ronald Koeman will surely be pretty satisfied with how his side have started here. Still goalless, but a very bright opening 5 minutes for the Dutch. Bit of a waste there of a goal kick from Japan. Just goes all the way over to Verbruggen on the opposite side of the pitch. Now Van Dijk will bring the ball forward. Dumfries. Van Hekke. Van Dijk again. Just 5 minutes into this game. Still I would be surprised if the top two of this Group F, will be anything other than the Netherlands and Japan. But now Japan can go on the counter for the first proper time here. Nice little turn there from Kamada. And then the number 13, Nakamura, is clearly brought down there by Van de Ven. And it's going to be a free kick in a promising position on this left flank here for the Samurai Blue. And an opportunity for Haji Moriasu's side to whip the ball in here and cause some havoc inside the Dutch 18-yard box. So we've got two Japanese players just around the ball here. So we've got Kamada and Kubo. And can Japan get their first shot on target in this game just a couple of minutes after the Netherlands got their first shot on target through Marlon? Looks as if it's going to be Kamada to take. Now into the 7th minute here. Signals to the rest of his players. Kamada over to the far post. It's just kept in play. Oh no, it has just gone out. The assistant referee on the far side has his flag up. Not the best of deliveries, it has to be said, from Kamada. And it's going to be a goal kick for Verbruggen to take. Earlier on, by the way, in the games that have taken place just within the last few hours, at least since midnight in UK time at least, it's been a hatful of goals in this FIFA World Cup tournament. So earlier on today in the small hours it finished Haiti 0, Scotland 1. Scotland's first victory in a men's FIFA World Cup since 1990. Then Australia, perhaps quite surprisingly for a few people, beat Turkey 2-0. And then earlier on in the early evening UK time, Germany thrashed Curacao 7-1, but Curacao did get a landmark moment, scoring their first ever goal in a FIFA World Cup tournament. The next game, by the way, in this FIFA World Cup tournament is at midnight UK time tonight, and that is between Ecuador and the Ivory Coast, in what should also be quite a promising game, that one as well. We've resumed here. Maeda with the ball in from the left-hand side. Pretty comfortable for the Dutch to clear away there, but Japan back on the attack. Now this time through Nakamura. Now to Hiroki Ito. Long ball in from Kamada. But again, his delivery is pretty poor there. And it will just go out for a throw-in for Verbruggen to take. Daichi Kamada, the Crystal Palace player, not quite get to the match that he would have wanted. So Verbruggen takes long after receiving a short pass from one of his defenders. Japan will deal with it. Cleared away long by Taniguchi. Will go out for a throw-in for the Netherlands, just around the halfway line on the left-hand side. Van Dijk just has plenty of time on the ball here, just to inch forward from defence into midfield. Now to Van de Ven, who's playing as a left back here for the Netherlands. Now Dumfries. Van Hekke. De Jong. De Jong still on the ball here, just inside the centre circle. Square pass to Van Dijk. Now Van der Ven. Van Dijk again, just into the 10th minute now. So the best opportunity we've had so far was that Donyell Marlon chance that produced a decent save, decent reflex save from Zion Suzuki. Netherlands spreading the ball left, trying to find Gakpo, but it will be cleared away by Watanabe. Throw taken quickly by the Dutch. Van Hekke, right in the centre of the Dutch defence, right in the middle of the centre circle. He's got plenty of time here. Japan just happy to sit back and just soak up the Dutch pressure at the moment here. Van Dijk will go long now. And that's far too long with his distribution. And that will be a goal kick for Zion Suzuki to take. Huge stadium here, by the way, the Dallas Stadium. Absolutely enormous capacity crowd. And it's a good atmosphere as well in the stadium here in the United States. Not had a goalless draw yet in this tournament. Hopefully I've not put the commentator's curse on that one already here. It's been a fairly positive start from both teams. Just a bit of a delay with this Japan goal kick to be taken. Will be taken short by Taniguchi before Zion Suzuki goes long. Van Dijk heads the ball away. Now Japan can build down this left-hand side through Nakamura. He's got time here, can spread the ball to the right flank. And this is where Japan can be dangerous here. On the counter, where they've got space to exploit. Now Doan, the captain, just passes backwards here. Now to Sano. And Kamada will just pick up the ball in midfield. Now to Hiroki Ito. Kamada again. Japan just got some space here and they almost get past Van Hekke through Maeda. Just couldn't quite do so, but Japan retrieved the ball straight away. It's a pretty even match so far. Sano just in the centre of midfield. Now they've passed out to the right-hand side here. Looking to get a delivery and it's low down and Van Dijk will easily just boot the ball away. And Japan will just get the ball right back to Zion Suzuki in goal. So just coming towards the 13th minute of the game here. It's tight. Still Donyell Marlon with the best opportunity of the game so far. His rapid shot on target, forcing a decent save from Zion Suzuki. But now Japan building down the left again here through Nakamura. Now to Hiroki Ito. Now Kamada. Nakamura. And a dummy was attempted there from Japan, but doesn't quite work out. And the Netherlands can go quickly on the counter, but falls to nothing though. And again, goes right back to Zion Suzuki, and Japan start from scratch. So they've got the ball just in front of the centre of defence. Japan yet to test Bart Verbruggen at the moment, the Brighton and Hove Albion goalkeeper. So Sano. Now to Watanabe. Hiroki Ito. Maeda. Back to Hiroki Ito. Now Maeda just gets to the ball just before it goes over the byline, and it comes off Dumfries, and it'll be a corner to Japan on this left-hand side. So this will be the Samurai Blues' first corner of the game then. And what can Japan do here with this kind of set piece? Packed penalty area already, especially in and around the edge of the 6-yard box. We've got a straight line of Dutch defenders back here. Plenty of bodies forward though in the dark blue for Japan. So corner will be taken by Kamada. Cleared away by the Dutch, just as far as Sano. Now Kamada again, just has time. Plays the ball back to Nakamura. Now to Kubo on this left-hand side. That's a smart pass. Comes in low down here, and Maeda almost gets on the end of it. He's claiming it should be a corner. And it looks as if the referee has given a goal kick to the Netherlands. And that was really promising from Japan. It's a smart pass there from Kubo to play the ball down that left-hand side for Taniguchi to collect. All the way from the heart of Japan's defence. It was good defending, though, from Van Hekke. And then the final touch came off Maeda inadvertently. And it is a correct decision for the goal kick to be taken by the Netherlands. Early throw-in now. Sorry, throw-in just over the halfway line on the left-hand side. Van der Ven takes quickly. Now to Van Dijk. Van Hekke into the centre circle. Van Dijk again. It's often quite slow, the tempo, when it is within the Dutch defence, but then it just quickly sharpens up in pace when they do get over the halfway line. So a quarter of an hour gone then, still goalless between Japan and the Netherlands. But I'll have a quick look at the latest match stats very soon for you, just to give you another indicator as to how this game is going. So at the moment the Netherlands just with one shot, of course on target from Daniel Marlon. Japan with one shot but not on target. And so still a close game here, and expect it to be a close one all the way through the 90 minutes. Japan with pretty big expectations, probably the biggest expectations Japan's men's side have ever had for a FIFA World Cup. Just getting past the group stage will not be seen as a particularly big achievement. They certainly want a lot more than that, Japan. And it is the same for the Netherlands as well. Of course, the Netherlands reaching the semi-finals of the last Euros before going down 2-1 to England after a very late Ollie Watkins strike that ended the Dutch dreams there. Netherlands just enjoying a nice spell of possession now, though. Van Dijk from the centre circle. Quick pass out there to Reinders. Now with Van der Ven. Decent pressing from Japan. Ball just coming off Kubo last. And it'll be a throw to the Netherlands. Back to the centre of defence with Van Dijk. Van Dijk and Van Hekke have certainly seen plenty of the ball so far. De Jong. Now to Dumfries. Now for the first proper time, the Netherlands now attacking down this right-hand side. So here's Somerville. Decent delivery there. Headed away though by the Japan defence. Now it's collected by Kubo. Will play the ball forward and has managed to keep it in as well. Maeda looking to go past his opponent. It's come off his opponent though, and it will be a throw in to Japan on the halfway line on the Japanese right flank. All the way back to Taniguchi. Now Hiroki Ito. To the left wing, collected by Nakamura. Hiroki Ito again. Now with Kamada. Just on the left-hand side of the centre circle. Japan just pushing forward here, inch by inch. Now down to the right-hand side. It's collected by Maeda. Oh, it's a poor pass though. Doesn't quite get to be where he wants it to be. And the Netherlands will take the ball out through Gravenberch. Now Marlon. Nice touch there from the Roma forward. Gakpo to Marlon. Ooh, gets past one but can't quite get past the second Japanese defender. So he couldn't quite get the shot in on him there. Netherlands back in possession now, and now every outfield player for the Netherlands is well inside Japan's own half. A bit like a game of chess here at the moment. Still pretty even. I'd say the Netherlands have had the better of it so far, but it's not been by much though. Now De Jong, right in the centre of midfield. It's good shape though from Japan. It's just making it awkward for the Netherlands to kind of get that killer through ball in. De Jong again. Now just to the left of centre. Got a bit of space to work in now. Van Hecker to Somerville. Now Van Hecker again. De Jong. This is good from the Netherlands onto the left-hand side. Gakpo just running up against Doan. Gakpo with a 1-2 there. This doesn't quite work out between him and Van der Ven. Ball goes out and it will be a Dutch throw. Only a few yards away from the corner quadrant on the left-hand side. 20 minutes gone. Still goalless here between Japan and the Netherlands. And Japan are sitting further and further back here. Now back to Van Dijk. Spreads the ball to the left-hand side. Gakpo again. Just hugging that byline. That touchline rather. Reinders to Van Hecker. Quick 1-2 with De Jong. Van Dijk back to the left-hand side. Gakpo looking to take on Doan. Still has the ball, Gakpo. Now Van Dijk. Van Hecker again. It's good possession here for the Netherlands, but we've just not seen much in the way of actual clear-cut chances yet. These are two good sides here. Both of these sides will be confident that they can go far in this tournament. Japan certainly have expectations of achieving their best ever performance at a men's FIFA World Cup. Of course, the Netherlands, arguably the best footballing side to have still never won the FIFA World Cup. Now Netherlands just on the left-hand side, just being forced backwards though, and Van der Ven just has to knock possession back all the way back to Verbruggen. And the Netherlands will have to start from scratch here. Back over to the left wing for Gakpo. Looking to take on his man. It's collected nicely there from Doan. Watanabe. Now to Kamada. Over to the left-hand side, just over the halfway line, collected by Hiroki Ito. Nakamura. Kamada. So there's plenty of time here. Nice patient build-up play from the Samurai Blue. Looking to keep the ball in play on this right-hand side. It's come off a Dutch player last, though, and so, well, it will be a throw into Japan, but the referee has signalled that it already is time for the hydration break in the first half, so both sets of sides will now go to the dugout areas to get their collection of water, as it's another hot day in North America. And also a chance for both teams to just regroup and get a few more messages from their respective head coaches. So whilst we've got this break then, with the hydration break, we'll just run through what's happened in the FIFA World Cup since it turned midnight UK time. So in the small hours last night, it finished Haiti 0, Scotland 1. John McGinn of Aston Villa getting the only goal of the game there, and that's Scotland's first victory in a FIFA World Cup since 1990, when they beat Sweden in the group stage. Of course, Scotland have never gone past a group stage at a men's FIFA World Cup tournament before. Then in the 5 a.m. kickoff time in UK time, I would guess a surprising 2-0 win there for Australia, fairly youthful Socceroos side as well. Turkey fancied by quite a few, a bit like Japan as dark horses for the tournament, but it's not the first time Turkey have been described as that before, going into a major tournament, and Turkey have then really flattered to deceive. They've not really performed at all, and well, it's not been a good start for Vincenzo Montella's side there. So Australia with a great 2-0 victory. Now they're in a really good position to get into the knockout rounds. And then earlier on this evening, so with the 6 p.m. UK time, well, it was in the end a thrashing for Curacao. They went down 7-1 to Germany, but for the first 35 minutes or so, it was pretty interesting. Germany took the lead early on, but then remarkably, Curacao equalised around the half-hour mark to make it 1-1. Scenes of pure joy and euphoria as Curacao and manager Dick Advocat celebrated the tiny nation's first ever goal in the FIFA World Cup. Of course, if you've not heard already, Curacao are quite comfortably the smallest nation to have ever reached the FIFA World Cup. So great moment there, but